Good evening, everybody. Well, hey, Gerard, you're the first one in here. Welcome. Kevin B501, Casey666, Jared, everybody in there. Welcome, Casey, Marsh something. Everyone coming to Red Jen, Wheelchair Capo, Autumn Bridges. Tonight, yes, you're watching Encounters. My name is Commander Alion. I'm the host of the show. I'm a contactee since the 60s. I'm a C5 activist. I have our Astar Command C5 group in Connecticut, Paranormal Ghostbusters. Good to see you. Yeah. Welcome, Sharon Rose, everybody out there. Sean, welcome. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We appreciate you very much. And we're going to be going a few things tonight. So if you're not here, be here now. Lots of pictures of orbs. Interesting. Denise Pod, I think, how to heal bad thoughts through meditation, higher dimensional music, always. Christed consciousness music will always heal that kind of stuff. And telling yourself within that I'm not going to allow these thoughts anymore. I'm going to be only allowing cosmically Christed energies within my thoughts. And that if you practice that, just to answer that person's question, that'll help you a lot. No, I have not read Jen. I heard about the Philadelphia crash. I don't know what's going on with that. That's pretty wild. Hey, Starsea Light, we're united. Good to have you with us, everybody here. Pamela, everybody, Denise, Pod, you're welcome. George, good to have you with us. Jean, Valerie, Pamela, Perone. Hey, Tommy Taylor, good to see you, brother. Felicia, hello, Felicia. And let's see, Gary, good to see you, Gary. Hey, Catherine. Neon Pickle. Sheila Smith. Hola, 701, good to see you. What about Booted, or Boot something, ET, or whatever. Summer, welcome, Bella, good to see everybody. We're going to get into Steph Darcy. We're going to get into a few things tonight. If you see my promotional video, we do things unlike any other UFO discussion on TikTok, because we've been doing a show for 3 years now. But what we're going to do tonight is, hey, Ozzy, Alberto, welcome. If you have been, hey, LeBol, if you've actually, my cat has to talk every time I go live. Hey, Courtney, my cat has to go live. She has to be, do you want to go on the camera? Are you going to keep teasing me? Yeah, I'm talking to my cat. If you have a cat, you end up talking to your cat. Hey, Ruby, good to see you. Melissa Neal, good to see you. One of these nights, I will get, hey, Chesno, one of these nights, we'll get the cat on here, Missy, and we'll let her get on here and you can see her. But tonight, she's right behind me here. Let me see if I can pick her up. Hold on a minute. Now, let me see if I can do a sneaky thing with her. Oh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I got her. It worked. I got her. I can. Missy, you're going to be famous again. Here she is. I got the cat. Look at the camera. Here's the cat. I got her. Before we get the show started, this is my space cadet cat here, Missy. This is Missy Piketty. I call Missy Piketty. Missy, look at all the people out there, all over the world. Yeah, look at them. They love you. They love you. Yeah. You know, you've been running away from the camera too much. You've been running away from the camera too much. She's a big girl. Yeah, she's a ragdoll cat. My name is Missy. I have a message from the space people. Everybody love one another. Meow. She just channeled the message. Now, I want to be interviewed too. I come from another planet also. You never tell me to come on the show and talk, but I would like to talk to everybody. Okay, I'm going to let her down. Okay, Missy, go ahead. Do your thing. No, that's my cat. So now she probably is not going to, now she's going in the other room because I paid attention to her. I picked her up, got her, snuck up to her, and I got her. There you go. Yeah, I mean, we love our cat. She's, we talk to her all the time. Oh no, she's talking again. You've been on TV once, and that's it. Hey, DJ Firefly. We do have apple cider too. Yeah. I am so glad it's Friday. You wouldn't believe it. So, the end of the week's over. Hope whatever you were doing, you're done doing it. And glad. Hey, Leanna, thank you. Thanks. I needed some caffeine. That was really good. Thank you. Hey, DJ Firefly. I think it's Adri. Good to have you with us, DJ Firefly, Debbie Taylor. So what we're going to do tonight, and I also want to thank all my moderators for doing great jobs here. I hope my moderators will stay awake tonight for Friday night. No, I'm just kidding with you. Yeah, I'm actually doing. I'm on like sabbatical, and my cat's getting kind of weird. And so yeah, Chesno, I will eventually be going back, but I like just doing this for now. But I will be going back at some point to the station. I miss doing I miss doing it, but same token, I think this is for now. I wish I was on the radio when all these things started happening with the orbs and everything. But I'll go back eventually. Good question. Good question, brother. Zida A. Valdez, good evening. Good to have everybody with us. Susan Murray, good to have you with us. I hope you're all doing well out there, wherever you are. Thank you. Thank you for the candy. Definitely thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate you all. So we're going to be here till at least 1 o'clock, maybe a little bit over. Yeah, maybe, George, that could be something. Hey, Jackie, good to see you, Jackie F. Welcome. Francisco, welcome. The something site fusion fuel site I think it's the Sightful Soul. I think it is. I think I got that right. Infinite welcome. Aaron's ready for contact. I think we all are this year. Clay Martin, good to see you. Good to see everybody. WC Yost, welcome. Hey, Green Eyes, how you doing? Fat Boy, welcome to the show, Fat Boy. Jajin, World Transform. Call me Montana. Okay, Montana. Good to have. Call me Montana. Okay. Greetings, everybody. Kamuchi Poo. Good to see you. Hey, Kurt. Jared's ready for contact. Craigie B. Greetings. So we're going to get into some stuff. We're going to kind of mix it up. This show is very spontaneous. I do things my own way. That's why it's what it is for the last 3 years. The #1 spiritual UFO talk show on social media. I am amped up, brothers and sisters. Nanchik, thank you for the candy. I'll save it. I have a little candy box here. I'm going to save the candy for later. Definitely good to have everybody with us. Nanchik, thank you for the heart me. We appreciate it. Sometimes it's me. How you doing? Yeah, so on the radio, I'm taking a bit of a sabbatical from radio broadcasting. Not because I don't like radio, I do, but I like doing what I'm doing here on TikTok, and I feel very committed more to visual communications than I do to audio, just strictly audio. But we'll get back to radio at some point. Lillian, good to have you with us. Rachel, good to see you. Hey, Buzzard. And please follow me. If you're not following me, go to my bio, press the red follow button right now. If nobody here is following me and you're new, please do that. Please like. We want to get to 100,000 likes by 1 a.m. Eastern. We're in the East Coast. If you're wondering where we are, here in Connecticut. Sassafras, good to have you with us. Heather, everybody out there. Drake Line, welcome. Nanny rocks. Nannies do rock. They do rock. Nat has something. Loop Menza, 3126. Arctic Seagull. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but one of the things I want to do tonight, as we talk about sightings, people's encounters, everything else, I really been pushing, when I promoted my new videos, I want to talk to people. Hey, David, good to see you, brother. I want to talk to people that have had problems with being taken by negative ETs. I also want to talk to people that are having the positive experience. If you've been taken on a spaceship in a positive way, not taken forcibly, but by invitation. But I do want to talk to people that have actually been, hoping to have a resolve. People that have been abducted, maybe been implanted, and don't know what to do. I can help you. So I'm not your regular talk show host here on TikTok. I am more than just a talk show host. I am a talk show host. Marta, good to see you. I and Peter Wright, welcome. Stefan Nash, Brittany, welcome everybody to the show. Ches, welcome everybody coming in here. I'm also been gifted the ability last year at some point to be able to remove implants remotely. And if you saw my promotional video, I showed you my palm of my hand. What does that mean? So with the palm of my hand, I'm able to remotely scan a person from where I am here in Connecticut. They can be in Europe, in Hawaii, Japan, wherever. It doesn't matter where you are. And if you're seriously been having problems with abductions and possible implants by lower vibrational ETs, I can find the implant by scanning you, and I actually take the implant out remotely. I know. Jose Sanchez, yes, it's true. I do this. It's been documented. I have all my shows on YouTube. My Astroturf Command Spaceship News. That's my YouTube channel. I'm the real deal. I do take out implants remotely. I know for some people they say, how is it possible? But I have enough people in here who've been watching me for a long time that have seen me remove implants out of people remotely and destroy them. I can tell you, I have more than one viewer that can vouch for that. For anybody who doesn't believe it, So yeah, and we're going to definitely take some people up here on the audience who want to come into the queue, and so our Razaz, I can only show you if I have somebody who seriously has got implants. It's not something that I can force unless somebody, if someone comes on tonight or, one or two or three people throughout the night, hey, Peggy, I will actually show you what I do. I do this unconditionally. I do it to free the person from being attacked by negative low vibe ETs, which is against universal law. And so I work in another conscious level, hey, Tap, hey, thank you for the heart me. I do this because it's part of my mission. Beyond many other things, it is part of my mission. Hey, Dazed, and everybody, Jeff coming in here. Welcome everybody to the show. Coop Zoe, Dorothy Luna. Hey, Dorothy. Sean Holmes, welcome. Tommy Tucker, Pink Tea, thanks for the share. Everybody, please share with people you think would be who should be watching the show. I really, for 3 years doing the show, I never act like like it's been 3 years and here I am. I always believe more people need to see this. Hey, Tricky Dick, how you doing, brother? Bonnie Ellis, thank you for the share. So all you've got to do is share with a couple of people you think should be watching Encounters. FYP, that's another thing. Everybody FYP all over the place so that people on the FYP area can be tuned in. I don't know how much TikTok is promoting my show. At the beginning, it addresses people. It used to, through the show, at some point they'd say we're inviting people to your show, but I don't see that happening during the show anymore. So I'm not sure what's going on with TikTok. Thank you everybody for the FYP. Frederick, welcome. So we're going to get into a lot of things, not just people that have been abducted. We are going to get into quite a few things, okay? Let me see here. And let me take a look and see who's in queue here. Nobody's in queue, okay. So there's a lot going on. I know, there's been things about the human space being that was, and I have the recording of part 1. I don't know if there's a part 2 or 3 to it, but about the human ET that was next to the egg type, I think a little pod ship or something, who came out of stasis. And we've talked about this a little bit. So, now that we know that happened, where is that space being? Who is he with? Is the space being been taken out of the area that he was at? Has he left our planet? What's happened with that? We don't know. And, the question is, will we know what happened to that space being? That's the $1,000,000 question. Was he free to just leave? Was he healed? I'd have no idea, to tell you the truth. Really. Welcome, everybody, to the show. And then you got all these things happening. I'm not going to get into it. I know there are people in the UFO community discussing it. There's enough discussion on, hey, Kev, Don, good to see you, about the plane crashes. I just try to stay away from that, but just too much of that, and it's really sad to see people, die in a crash of any sort. But there's enough discussion all over the place about that, Egyptian, welcome, Gizzy, Grizzy, good to see you. TLO 100, thank you for sharing the live. Hi, D. Hi, D. Hey, Paula, welcome to the show. And again, we're just kind of free-flowing it. We do want to get to some people that might have had problems. Last night's show will be on my YouTube channel. I didn't get a chance. I downloaded the show. I haven't had a chance to put it on YouTube. I'll do that later tonight. Paula Beck, good to see you. Hello, Paula. D. Starks. Hello, D. Starks. Maria, everybody. Egyptian. Hey, Egyptian. Kana Queen. Yeah, it is very awful playing the rainbow, Hey, Cam Sparkles. So for us, I know there have been people, looking at this, and it's just kind of weird that all that stuff is happening within days of each other. Let's just hope no more of these things happen. And let's just hope people get where they're going without crashing an airplane or something, or a jet or something. It's just a sad thing for any life to be lost in those situations. It truly is. And we just have to send a lot of light and love to the world, and that's what we should do. Hey, Mikey, a second plane just hit Philadelphia. UFO shot it down. Okay, so this is the thing. Before we start saying that a UFO shot an airplane down, what's the source of the information? Because when we start saying things like, oh, the UFO is shooting airplanes down or jets down, we're getting into a very dangerous situation. We don't have any source of information about that. If there's a source of information, 4 planes in 48 hours, not UFOs. Yeah, it's not UFOs. The UFOs aren't shooting planes down. I just can't see that happening. And plus, there would have to be a source for that information. Only facts, because the good thing about me is I studied Pacifica Radio when I was in college with the news people from Pacifica Radio, and I studied news, how to be a news person, how to ask questions. So for me, and it goes with anything, even with the UFO stuff, I need to have the source of that information, because if someone starts a rumor saying that something did this to this, where's the source of the information? So I can't say that. That's going into dangerous waters because we're saying something without facts, and I'll never do it. So Mikey, you have to have facts and a source of information. That source has to be, legit, and because I just that would not be happening. And that's the thing we have to look at. Hey, Steve, welcome to the show. Yeah, legit truth. That's right, Witchy Boo. Thank you for the hat with the mustache. I appreciate the gift. Yeah, credible. That's right. Salty Dog, welcome. Happy user 282. Jackie Hurley, welcome. And I've always been one for the facts. Yeah, I've only heard. Yeah, I'm not really been focused on the plane crashes. I've seen some stuff on TikTok. Hey, UK, good to see you with us. Welcome. I think it's Avriel. Hey, Avriel, welcome. Welcome, our folks, our friends overseas. Welcome. Care Bears, thank you for the share. We appreciate it. Hey, Banca Stella. We love our viewers overseas and all the different countries and right here in the United States. Welcome, Linda, everybody. Hey, Jan R., good to see you. So we need to be very careful that we have facts about what we're doing. Now, we know that, these planes have crashed. We know that, unfortunately, too many people are dying with plane crashes. But we can't start throwing out the thing that UFOs did this to this, because there's no basic facts. And so when you start throwing that out and the word gets around about that, then people start thinking, oh, did you hear about that person saying UFOs shot down the whatever? We can't do that. Not on this show. I don't know about other UFO shows, if they're going in direction or UFO people. I'm just not going there, you know. And more importantly is, with all these different crazy things going on, there's a lot of other stuff going on, okay? Everell says, no one thinks something, I don't understand what that word is, T-G-A-T? Can you rephrase the word? I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. Yeah, I think there are distractions, Brian. I think you're right. I think there's a lot of distractions going on because we all know that the whole orb UFO thing is increasing. We know that there's sightings increasing all over the world. Now, I don't think the crashes of these planes are happening, you know, as a diversion to what's happening off planet or in our oceans that are coming out of the ocean. I think there's a lot of diversions. Trying to get people's minds away from the orbs and all that initially we're seeing on all the networks. And News Nation is one of the few that are still talking about these subjects on a regular basis on the cable network. There's definitely diversions going on here. And we have to be steadfast in not being swooped over to, oh, did you hear about that cruise ship that just went down in the Pacific Ocean or something? And I'm not promoting any of that. But if that ever happened, it'd be very sad, number one. And again, the news media would be doing diversions to cover things unrelated to what's galactically, cosmically happening around our planet. Because you and I know galactically what's happening around our planet. And that is increased sightings of various types of spaceships. Some of these ships are very different. Some of them are unmanned, but they're coming from motherships that are cloaked, or bigger ships that are cloaked. That's what's happening, you know. So we're going to get into a lot of things here, but I got to set the truth here, and have some apple cider. Yeah, Avriel, yes, we knew the truth, right? We knew the truth, and the truth is, when there are diversions in the media, and the media goes live, and then the other diversions are all the Earth-based stuff. What is this leader going to do to everything and everything else? And then they get people freaking out about what they're going to lose or not lose. And Missy's agreeing with me. She's coming back. You agree? Do you agree? Yeah, she agrees. Missy agrees. You know, so we have all these diversions, and now she's going by me. Okay, Missy, I'm not going to pick you up again. I know, Mal. But there are these diversions that are happening. Oh, you go where you want to go. And we need to be very focused on the more important things in life, you know. We could get sidetracked. If another thing happens that's weird, then we're going to be thinking, well, did you hear what happened there? Or that factory. I think there was some building or something somewhere I vaguely saw on the TikTok. Something happened there. So we can get diverted into all these other things that are happening, or we can be focused enough to concentrate on what's more important. And what's more important now is we're in the year of transformation. We're in a big year of transformation. And you know it, and if you don't know it, you're going to know it soon. Yeah, it's pretty weird, Brian. Yeah, 2 plane crashes in 1 week. And like I said, you know, all those human beings that were on those planes, it's terrible that happened. It really is. I think all of us are very caring people here, you know, so we do care. Yeah, it definitely, something's not right there, Money Mike. I absolutely agree. It is very strange. You know, we've had strange things happen over the years where airline jets have crashed, and it's not the first time we've had commercial airliners, cargo ships, you know, things like that happen. We have, you know, and it is a shame. It is a shame that it's happening. And all we can do is put positive energy out. And if we put positive energy out, you know, and I feel sorry for the families that lost their members on these planes, you know. Hey, Susie Q, good to see you, Carol. Yeah, Yvette, I agree. You know, hopefully these people went, you know, to the next level of consciousness, and they went without, as you said, Yvette, without any pain or suffering. You know, I really hope so. I really do. I don't want to see anybody get hurt or die or anything from anything. You know, and it doesn't matter whether it's a fire in a little town somewhere or a little village in Europe or wherever it is. Any person that dies or loses things, losing material things is one thing. You know, if you lose your life in things like that, and every day people are on this planet, there's something going on, right? But on the other end of it, we're all here to do something greater than, you know, allow these things to continually happen, you know? And Lisa, you're right. It is going to be magical. You know, that's the one thing we sometimes forget. We're in a situation this year of great transformation of our planet, and it certainly will be magical. It's going to be, you know? And hi, Diana. The ones in 3D will be feeling it a lot, the shifting of Earth, the new era. Yeah, a lot of the 3D Earth humans, and there's still a lot of 3D Earth humans, they are going to be shaken up. They're going to be feeling the effects of what's going on. Not everybody's, you know, all these people around the world, you know, we have billions of people on our planet, have not yet felt the effects of what's going to happen, right? You all know that something's up. You have your own uh, things in your dreams, in your encounters, in your documenting, and now a lot of you are videotaping. You know, you all know it. You know, I know it. We all know what's coming up here. You know, we're not going to tiptoe around the subject. I never do, right? You know, I would say it the way it is. We're going to have increased sightings, and the sightings are going to be different. And the sightings might look very weird and strange that you capture on your cameras, but we're all going to see things. I'll tell you, when it gets warmer out, you're going to see me go live out in the field, and we do our C5 group. We'll be doing stuff on the beach. We'll be doing stuff near an apple orchard that we have. Hey, Liberation Salam. Yeah, we overcome 3D, and we will overcome. So we've been living in a world of 3D, right? We've been living on this earth, living in a world, in truth, of a 3D world. And even though there's that 3D world there with all these things going on, you know, you hear about on your local news channel, oh, did that person, you know, robbed a bank or whatever it was. That's all that 3D stuff, right? But at the same token, your consciousness is beyond that. Your consciousness, oh, okay, that happened. Oh, you're more excited about the prospects of what's going to happen to our planet in this lifetime, in this current lifetime. You're more excited about the possibilities of meeting the space people. We're all going to have that. We're all going to have that experience. It's not an exclusive few. So let's put it this way. It's not going to be exclusive to like 5 people or 10 people or 20 people on the planet. Everybody is going to experience this. Marianne Davis says, I've had a death surrounding me for the past month. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Marianne. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I've met people that have had that happen. You know, I don't know why that happens, Marianne, but I send you my love. I'm sorry that happened, that you have one death after another, 4 are gone. I'm very sorry to hear that. So I send my love to you, Marianne, and I just hope things, you know, switch around. And it's hard to go through each day when you had something like that happen. I'm sure it affects your consciousness, but I really do send my love out to you. Really. No, really, it's, you know, I've been there. I know what it's like to, whether you lose 1 person or 2 people or 4 people or whatever, it definitely affects you. You know, you have emotions, you have feelings, you know. I can imagine. It must be devastating. You never want to lose people, whether they're friends or family members, you know. You don't want to lose, you know, it can be very hard. You know, it really can be. Maria says her 2024 was hard. Well, 2025 will get better. All we can do is send love to each other, and it will get better, And you're on a place here on Encounters where many of us here are very cosmically awakened, spiritual people, loving people from all over the world on many different countries. So this is a good place to be. You'll have a lot of support, we care about our audience. Positive healing. That's right, Richie Boo. Absolutely. And Jay, you're right. Stay in the vibration of unconditional love. And when you're going through it, when you're going through hard times, turn on some higher vibrational meditation music and just sit quietly for maybe 20, 30 minutes, and you're going through hard times. Listen to the music, let it go through your consciousness. And that music will help you get through it. That music will help you get through it. Always. So, yeah. And welcome to Encounters. Excuse me. Just a little bit of... I had 3 nephews. I'm just now waking up from the grief. Oh, deadly Auntie Julie. Sorry to hear that. We send our love to anybody who recently lost a loved one that they cared about. And that's what it's all about. All we can do is send people our love and know that they're surrounded by love here. That's really the most important thing. Strange Skies. I like that. 369 frequency. Hey, Strange Skies. That's a good name. Tanya, Kathy, Maria, Nancy Peltier. Welcome. So, good to have everybody coming in here. The thing is, as we go towards the future of our world, there's so many beautiful things that we have not seen yet. So, Rita Wilson, welcome. Cynthia, welcome. Angel Cares, you're starting to see numbers. Interesting. Hey, Mike Masters. Yeah, Brian, that's right. Music is, I love the meditation music I use is always great to get me into a state of consciousness away from, thank you, Averill. I'm glad you found us over in the UK. We have a lot of good people over there in the UK that are on here that watch us early in the morning hours. So it's just important to know that we're going to be in better places. No matter what hurdles that an individual is going through, always listen to meditation music. You can use YouTube. I use the higher dimensional music. Jay, thank you for the gift, the lightning. I always think if you do that, you'll get your thoughts out of what, of all the stuff all the grief you've gone through. You'll always remember those people, and you should always remember them in a very positive light that you loved. But then through meditation and through guidance, you'll be able to move on and say, you know what? I'm not going to have any more of this happen to me in my life. I'm just going to move forward and have a place where just beautiful things happen. And that's, hey, Lori, thank you. That's the thing I always, when I hear stories like these things, I want to present that human touch of love to that individual or those individual people. I think it's important. Hey, Enlightened, good to have you with us. Yeah. Poi Poi, listen to Richard Clayderman's music. Interesting. I love music, so I will myself try to listen to it. Bright Owl says, yes, I used a Buddhist mantra for healing when I was widowed. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Ice says, I had an encounters. Okay, here we go. Ice, we're going to bring you up here. So the way that works here is you have to be over 18. When you come in the air, no smoking or vaping on the air at all, no drinking on the show, no drunks, no paranormal discussion, no religion, and no politics, and no cursing. And I want to just say, we do have moderators here. I'm going to follow Ice. Ice will be our first guest. And hopefully, Ice, if you come up here, just press the accept button. I'd like to hear about your encounters here on the show. And we want to thank all the people coming in. I know there's a lot of new people mixed in with the people that are always here. Welcome. If you just found our show, we've been on here for 3 years straight, most nights. And sometimes we take a night off to take a break and regenerate. But we're on here nightly at 11 o'clock Eastern. So we're glad to have all the new people here who are finding our show. So welcome. This is a very welcoming show, and we try not to ignore anybody here. You know, if I'm interviewing somebody, I might not see your comment because I'm focused on that person. Ice, you've had encounters. Ice, come on up. Go into the multi-guest option, Ice. On your TikTok, see the multi-guest option. Go in there and I'll bring you up. I just sent you an invite. And this is when I want to hear the story because they said they had encounters. Now I'm interested to know what those encounters are. Now I feel like I'm being teased. Because now I want to hear the story. You know? Don't be shy. We'd like to have you on here, you know? I did not see Kit Kat, Jake Barner's interview. I saw a little bit of it. I've not had time to really look at that. But I've not seen that. Supposedly, he came out with more information, if I am correct about that. Reality in Mind, welcome to the show. Okay, let me see if we got this person here. We have a Dave E. I'm going to bring Dave E up, and hopefully the other person who's had the encounters will feel like coming up here too. We're going to bring Dave E up as our. Speaking of encounters, you're watching encounters, you know.
Hey, man.
And Dave E, I got you on here, and Dave E, I'm going to send you. I can have my controls here. I'm pressing a button to allow you to come on camera. You'll see it pop up. If you do see it, just press the save thing, and you'll be on camera.
Well, I'm in the dark right now.
Oh, you're in the dark. Okay. Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you'd like to share on encounters tonight.
Dude, I'm from Mississippi on the Gulf Coast.
Oh, welcome out there on the Gulf Coast. So tell us
Right.
what's going on down there. What would you like to share with the audience?
Well, there's a lot of air traffic here. There's military bases and a lot of military bases, and the history of the area has a lot of sightings and questionable uh, movement and activity. And so this is where I'm from, where I grew up, and we go off. There's offshore islands, and we go offshore on these fishing trips, and we spend the weekend out there, and we fish. And about 20 years ago, we were out. There are cabins out there, there's some primitive cabins you stay in,
Oh,
and
cool.
we fish into the evening sometimes, and you're not always with it. You don't stay together. You move around. There are different
Okay.
bayous and inlets,
Oh,
and
wow.
and I in this one particular time I was fishing. It's hard to talk about, but I was overcome by a light and a magnetic sensation. It felt like it felt like I was lifted off of the ground.
Really?
And I never saw anything. Like you hear of people seeing crafts or being drafted by a craft. I never saw any of that, but I was probably unconscious, unaware of where I was. I mean, I was late getting back. It took me hours to get back to where I was going. I was disoriented, and I didn't know. I couldn't really tell. The other guys that were back at the camp much. They knew something had happened to me, but it was like I had been. There was a void of time, and I felt like I had been lifted off of the ground. And
Hmm.
and when I started to mentally come back to my senses, I was on the beach, and my equipment was kind of scattered, and it looked like somebody else, like I had either kicked my stuff around or somebody had been there and it upset me. But I, since that
So
time, since that time, I felt like, I'm more receptive to what's going on, and I feel these heightened times
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
of awareness, and I don't know if it was. I don't know if I was brought into a realm that I'm more sensitive to this type of perception. But yes, I mean, I really feel like something happened to me.
Yeah. So I get the feeling something happened to you. You were alone, right?
Yeah, yeah, I was down. I was down the shoreline from where the other guys were,
Can you talk
and
more into your microphone or something? You sound like you're echoing a bit.
yeah, okay, I'll try to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be good.
we
Like you're echoing a bit.
we all go.
Uh-oh. If you have a Bluetooth, turn it off. I think you have a Bluetooth on or something. Okay, Mr. Rich, you heard him well. Yeah, I've heard a little bit of a. Try it again. Let me see. He's turning off something.
Okay,
Okay, you
I'm back.
there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you sound good. Yeah, just I
Yeah.
thought I have my ear pods on, so I'm sensitive to sound. So I have a feeling, David, that you were potentially. You said that like you felt like you were lifted. Um, it seems like you might have had been taken from the boat
Well, I was on a shoreline.
on the shoreline.
I wasn't on the boat. We split up. We keep the boat. There's kind of shallow water on the shoreline. So
Okay,
we, 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 we
so you were actually on land.
yes, off by myself on
Okay,
the edge of the
okay,
water.
okay, on the edge of the water. So it is possible, based on what you're saying, the way you're describing it to everybody around the world on the show, that you could have been taken.
Well, I mean, I've heard people say that they could remember, the details of what happened to them, but I don't remember any details.
Yeah,
I just had that void of time, and I felt like, uh, you know, for sure something had happened to me,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so I don't know if it was, you know, I never have really been a believer in that until then.
yeah.
I'd heard the talk of, of that type of, of there being activity around the
Hmm.
air bases and on the Gulf Coast, but I had never
Hmm.
really
One of
thought
my
much of it until
Yeah,
then.
one of my viewers, Mishmiss, is saying, did it feel like when you had that magnetic feeling? Did it feel like a gravitational magnetic pull?
Yes, yeah, yeah, it did. I mean, it felt like, my hair was standing up, I was fuzzy feeling, and it was
Hmm.
short, like I was having an out of body experience.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I don't really have an answer for that. That's very different than some of the things I've heard from people in the last 3 years. Very interesting, and I don't really know what happened to you. That I'm really kind of yeah. Usually I can give an answer, but I can tell you honestly, something did happen. I don't know exactly what it was, but whatever it was, it definitely changed you from that time period when that happened.
Well, I feel a lot more alert of my surroundings, and especially at nighttime. In my visuals from
Hmm.
stars and outer lights. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's
When it happened to you, David, did it feel? I think who's asking me that? Who's asking that question? Rob is asking. Great question, Rob. Did it feel positive or negative?
uh, you know. I mean, I was frightened, and at first I didn't want to. I didn't want to think that that anything out of the normal had happened to me, but I've just since that time, and uh, the sensory the perception I have, the sensory perception I have is different. It's heightened. It really is.
You feel that you're kind when that happened. That's interesting. So your sensory perception is shifted. Do you feel when that happened, your consciousness shifted? Like you are able to know more things than you knew before it
Yeah, yeah,
happened?
really, I do. That's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Okay. That would make sense because if something happened to you and you had some sort of contact without seeing who was contacting you, they might have done something to you. Let me ask you a question. Um, After that happened, did you notice any markings on your arm or anything that wasn't there before?
No, 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 not
Okay.
really.
All right. That's an honest
Not,
answer, and that's all I
yeah,
need is an honest answer because I'm
yeah,
not going to
yeah.
go to a place where I
Mhm.
create something that doesn't exist.
Right.
Hey, Jess Parker. David, thank you, man, for sharing that. I must say your story is unique and interesting,
Well,
and definitely,
I'm glad I found. I don't share this with a lot of people, but I'm glad I saw your chat here, and I feel good about sharing it with you. I do.
I really appreciate that.
I'm not a young man,
Mhm.
and I don't, uh, I won't share this with people that I know in my everyday life, but yeah, I feel good about this, and
Yeah, yeah. We want you to feel comfortable here. One of the things in the years of media, I've been involved in UFO media for years, and this show I've been on for 3 years here. Friends guide me here, and I'm a professional broadcaster on radio. But I decided to start, a real spiritual UFO show instead of just a nuts and bolts show. I wanted to bring the spiritual aspects into the subject that nobody does, and I've been doing this 3 years. So people like yourself, David, find the show, and you'll be hooked on it. You'll meet a lot of good people from around the world here. You'll hear a lot of interesting stories from different people, so you're not alone, and we're glad you're here, David.
this
And
is
also,
great. I'm gonna follow you up, and I hope to talk with you again some more sometime.
and I'm following you now too. So you just have a new friend here, the host of the show, and we're glad David was here. Everybody, thank David for sharing
Great,
his story tonight
great.
on Encounters.
Okay,
Hey, David, thank you,
thank
brother.
you. I'll be listening. Thanks a lot.
Uh, we appreciate you very much. I definitely do. And that was our first guest here, David, who came forward with his story. This is what I love. I love people to be able to share their experiences, not feel alone. There's a lot of people out there, whether they're having positive contact or abductions or whatever, they don't know who to talk to. They don't know who to tell their stories to. They feel alone. A lot of people do. And if I can help take that loneliness away and allow people to come here from all over the world to watch this show, no matter what language they speak or whatever, be it English or whatever, but they had an experience that they wanted to talk about, I'm here to do that. I'm here to hear out that story. I'm here to provide a place where we're busting the matrix, getting rid of the lies, and getting to disclosure and telling the truth. And so, David, I thank you, man. I really do appreciate you. And this is the kind of thing. Every story every part of the puzzle comes together when people tell a story. I'm fascinated by all the beautiful people that come through here that are, scanning TikTok and finding encounters. We're glad to have you here. We want you to get addicted to being here. And you'll find that as a talk show host, we don't get into 3D stuff. We stay away from it. We know what the 3D stuff is. Thank you, Maria. We know what that is. It's all over us. It's everywhere. It's on the media. It's everywhere, but not here. We'll acknowledge it that it's but we're busting that matrix of the 3D world media-wise by doing what we're doing here to tell people the truth. You know, 3D material world. I think George Harrison wrote a song about the material world. One of his albums. He was very much into some really tuned in stuff back in the 60s and late 60s and 70s. So yeah. Superficial sleeping world. Absolutely correct. Mr. T. Driver, welcome. So I know there was a gentleman here who had some family members that were at Wright-Patterson. We know a lot about Wright-Patterson. I have a lot of knowledge about that whole area. And we have somebody here, I can't even know what the language is, 2,100 followers if the person with the whatever that language is, if you can tell me why you're coming up, I don't know who you are. I want to make sure, again, that we're not going to have any people coming up who are here to spam or whatever. That's happened over 3 years. So if you want to come up on the show, you need to tell me in a sense a little bit about yourself, the person in the queue. I need to know more about you. I don't even understand what your name is. IATI, non-consensual government black projects. Yeah, that too. And our money has been spent in tax dollars for those projects too. Jesse, David, welcome to the show. Blue Raven, hey Blue Raven. Angel, I just wanted Johnny Rotten. Thank you for the follow. I don't live too far from my Pat. Been on the base a couple of times to the BX. Hey Peggy, what is the BX? Avriel, thank you for the heart. Witchy Poo says, oh my God. One day you should hear my story. How about we hear the story now, Phil? I'd love to bring you up here. You've got enough followers. I'm gonna bring Phil up here. If they'll come up here, we'll hear their story, Phil. Better time ever than now. If you're new to the show, Phil, if you're new to the show, I treat all my guests really good here. So I just sent you an invite. Think about it. You have the ability to go into the multi-guest option, and we'll bring you up. Oh, uniform. Oh, yeah, I gotcha. So you've been to the store. Well, the store is probably an okay place. It's not top secret. So if you have a story and you say, I've got a story to tell regarding your things with space people or encounters or sightings, we definitely want to hear it. Don't be afraid to share the story. That's why we're here. We're here to hear your stories as well as share things I already know, and I know a lot of things. So believe me, I can tell you things. I don't have to be to Antarctica to know about it. Everyone wants to know about Antarctica. And they want to know what's going on in Antarctica. And we do know that already there's no wall, there's no ice wall blocking people going to Antarctica. There are cruise ships that go to Antarctica that are probably given a route they can go to in Antarctica where the people go on a cruise. They go by Antarctica and they say, wow, this is interesting. But there's no wall, there's no blockage. It's not this whole thing with this wall thing. For all the times I've heard about it, I said, why are people promoting of some sort of a wall over Antarctica? If I have a plane or a jet and I go on a boat and I come to the beginnings of all of this snow and icy stuff as I'm traveling in the water side where there's still water in the whatever, I can take that helicopter and fly right over the ice. There's no wall. I know we like to say it's a wall, but there is definitely advanced civilizations. Now, we do have international structures from all these different countries that have scientists over in Antarctica in different places. That's been going on for years. But we also have in Antarctica, believe it or not, forgetting all the AI created, creators that create videos about Antarctica, we do have, in truth, advanced civilizations in Antarctica. Admiral Byrd, he went to the North Sea and went into the inner Earth. So in Antarctica, everyone's focused on Antarctica because there is stuff there. There's stuff going on there. There are advanced civilizations in the depths of Antarctica in the water, and I'm pretty sure all the world governments haven't gotten to every one of those places, because I'm pretty sure the space people that have those cities and are living there and have been living there before we existed in this current lifetime are very protective of where they are. They don't want a bunch of people coming in from world governments saying, oh, here we are, we're going to, come in. Can we come in here and mess up your civilization like we've messed up our civilization? Can we come over here and hang out with you for a while? I don't think that's happening, folks. Now, again, there's a lot of probably top secret stuff going on. Hey, Ashley, it's probably a lot of top secret stuff going on that are related to space people and the UFOs and stuff in Antarctica that we don't know about. It's just a given that we just don't know about it. But there is stuff going on there, without a question. You know, Mishmish, I think that's very plausible. Oh yeah, Ariel, we'll have some video to show tonight, without a question. We'll have some video to show, and we have plenty of time between now and 1 o'clock. We'll show at least 1 or 2 videos, stuff. I've been looking at things, but I will tell you, Antarctica is a place that is still very mysterious to us. Whenever I see stuff about Antarctica, I don't know if you get that feeling, but I do, that Antarctica, in truth, is like, when we talk about Atlantis, now everyone's looking for Atlantis, right? They're all looking in the, down off the coast of Florida or, Greece or wherever. They're looking for Atlantis. They think they're finding the remnants of Atlantis. I think they're looking in the wrong area. I think what we want to call Atlantis, I mean, for lack of a better word, are these advanced civilizations that exist in Antarctica. If we want to talk about advanced current civilizations that are living amongst us on this planet right now, right at this moment, look at Antarctica. Atlantis, Antarctica, the word Antarctica, Atlantis, Antarctica. You see where I'm going here? Antarctica, Atlantis, Antarctica. Now, again, this is a theory, so I'll put it out there for you. But I think the theory that I'm promoting, and I don't promote many theories, is a very plausible theory, right? And they're finding pyramids in Antarctica, ancient pyramids there. But there are also civilizations that live in Antarctica that are human, that are very much advanced. Now, how is it that we have advanced civilizations somewhere in Antarctica, and on our surface world, in a sense, we would be considered primitive to those civilizations that are living amongst us? How is it possible that we live on a planet where we live in one reality and they live in another reality? At the same time, we're all living in the same planet, but the advanced people are living in places that we don't know where they are specifically. Right? They're living in a very advanced civilization. They can travel on and off planet with their spaceships. And here we are, we reverse engineered technology at places like Area 51. But yet, even with the reverse technology that we have, we cannot do what the actual space people can do. We wouldn't be able to do it. I don't care if we have reverse technology from Area 51 or any area. We might have really fast reverse technology from the 3D things that were given to us by the negative ETs, but those that have these spaceships and scout ships can outmaneuver anything we have on the planet. Anything. And they stay in the mountains and caves near stargates in Antarctica. I'm looking at that. So when we're thinking about these things, and more, everyone is interested in Antarctica, right? Mary Cole says 1/30/2025 brought new phones. The government has a ban. Yeah, Mary Cole there. I just watched somebody with a video, just briefly, I'll say this, that there are negotiations for the app to be put back on both Google and Apple. So I think that's going to happen soon. So anyway, I think, Antarctica, Buck, is a great place to hide. It's actually a beautiful place to hide. I don't think our scientists over there that are from different countries are all working on scientific things to help humanity. I don't, whatever they're doing over there in their research. And I honestly think sometimes some of those scientists have no idea about what's happening with the ET stuff in Antarctica. They might be there for very specific purposes. So the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing, right? They just don't know. They really don't know anything. And it's just, honestly, that's the way it is. Everything is in a compartment. Everything is separated in a compartment. Just look at our government. You have the NSA, CIA, all these people, and even in those buildings, there are people who have top security clearance in the CIA, and there are people that don't have it. and there are people in the NSA have top security clearance, and other people have lower clearance. So just in one organization alone, you have that. I'm bringing Raw Douglas, I think, up, and Raw Douglas is. We're going to bring you up here if you want to come up, brother. Israel Defense Minister came out and told us, yeah, that's true, absolutely true. Welcome to our friend over Roar Douglas. Welcome to the #1 talk show here on social media encounters. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about your background. I've been reading your comments. I find them fascinating. And I always know there's a lot of stuff that a person knows by the comments they make. So tell us about this, how you got involved in all this subject, and we'd love to hear it.
I believe it was 1973. I was leaving my house in Trenton, Ohio, and walked outside, and I heard a buzzing sound, and it was just getting dark, dusk, and I turned around and looked up, and there was a huge craft that zipped, right by the house, right above the house. Ran in the house, grabbed my brothers and said, hey, this thing, flew over the house. I was like 16 years old. And we looked and I had a 2-story house, ran upstairs, looked out the window, and it was just a small thing. That night, well, there was a buzz going around town. Supposedly a cop in Monroe shot at one tree level. They were buzzing Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and I-75, up and down I-75. And then we stood out, and a lot of our neighbors, we were looking at this bright ball over Middletown. And Middletown at the time had the 3rd largest steel factory. And plus we had Wright-Patterson Air Force Base 30 miles away north of Middletown. And all these planes were up in the sky looking, because I guess it got out, and these pilots, single engine pilots were out there flying around. But every time they kept going towards this bright ball, the ball would disappear.
Oh my God.
The plane would go by, and then the ball would appear again. And we watched this for about an hour or so, and then finally it just disappeared. Don't know where it went. Don't know what it was. Yeah. So I joined the Army in 75 and was shipped off to Germany. And, shipped off in 76.
Okay.
In 77, we were on a thing called Reforger, and it's where military from around the European countries, France, Italy, Austria, Switzerland, all of them, we play war games. And I was with the 1st and 16th Infantry Division, Rangers, Big Red 1, and I was with the mortar platoon. And we were sitting in a wooded line, and all of a sudden, this thing came out of nowhere, man. It just buzzed up, and it was round, and it was gone in a split second.
Wow, that's crazy.
We all looked at it, and our lieutenant comes over and told us that, it was a helicopter. And we all started laughing and said, no, that was a UFO.
And he's telling you, your lieutenant tells you it's a hell. So you guys don't say anything. It was a helicopter. You didn't see anything.
Yeah. We didn't see what we saw. You
didn't see what you saw, of course.
So that evening, we're sitting there, and it was dark, and we were in a M113 armored personnel carriers, mortar platoon. We had our backs gates down. We were just relaxing, didn't think we was going to have to move or anything. And remember, it's play war. All of a sudden, we seen these lights, probably about 2 or 3 miles away. Could have been further. Couldn't tell the distance. But we thought they were tanks.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, like I said, we were playing war.
Yeah.
And so the lieutenant said, the word came down the line, pack up, we're going to move.
Right.
So we started packing up, got our stuff together, and we're just sitting there waiting to move. The lights started getting brighter, and we're
Yeah.
going, no, those aren't tanks because they use blackout markers. If anybody knows what a blackout marker on vehicles, they're just little lights you can barely see, and it's so you can guide through the woods and stuff or
Yeah.
on a road. Well, all of a sudden, this huge object came up out of the woods. I'd say maybe 3, 4 miles away. It was pretty big. It went up. It stopped for about maybe 3 or 4 seconds, and then it just went straight up and it was gone.
Oh
And
my
it was
God.
gone. We were all in shock. And again, our lieutenant said, well, he said, did you all see that? Yeah, he goes, well, that was a jet. Tried
A
to tell
jet.
us that either it was a helicopter or a jet. I can't remember. But he tried to tell us, but we were all talking about. So in 78, I'm with three other friends. Uh, Me, another guy, and his girlfriend was pregnant, and his girlfriend dad was a 1-star general. I don't know if I should say it's called
You can say it.
Patch Kasern. I was at Panzerkasern in Berblingen, 18 clicks out of Stuttgart.
Okay.
And we were driving from my Kasern to Patch Kasern, and you can take these roads, off roads, and we decided to take a off road through the woods. It's a shorter trip, and all of a sudden, one of the my friends go, "Hey man, what is that? What is that over there?" And we turn around and look. I go, "What the f is that?" He stops. We were probably maybe a couple football fields away, a couple 100 yards, I would say. We're standing there looking at these three things, and they're just, I would say they were about 50 feet across, 40, 50 feet across, and they were wobbling. Just, they were probably maybe 10 feet off the ground,
10 feet off the ground. Oh my God.
and they were wobbling. All of a sudden, he turns the car to go towards these things, and all of a sudden, they lifted up, and one went to the right, one went to the left, and one went straight up.
Oh my gosh. That's
We
really amazing.
we freaked out.
Yeah.
So we decided to report it. So we went back to Patch Kasern outside of Stuttgart. My friend's girlfriend, her dad was a 1-star general at Patch Kasern in the Air Force. Now, Patch
Hmm.
Kasern, they house the Marines, Air Force, Army, Navy. It's a big headquarters.
Hmm.
So we went there and reported it. And at first, they kind of didn't believe us, but then his daughter, which was pregnant, she was shaking. We were all
Yeah.
shaking, really.
Yeah.
We were like, we didn't believe what we were seeing.
Yeah.
So we sat down, we all filled out a report. We did drawings of what we
Hmm.
saw. We all collaborated. It was the same. We were in different rooms. We were basically interrogated. And then we were told to sign an NDA. So I don't even know
What
if
is
I should
that?
be saying this.
Is that non-disclosure agreement?
Yes, that we wasn't supposed to talk about it, wasn't supposed to tell anybody about it, and not say
Yeah.
anything about it.
Okay.
So we did all that. So we still stayed friends, but when we were together, we would talk about it.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
never told anybody else because we were afraid of a court martial, because we were
Yeah.
threatened with court martial.
Oh, if you said anything, we're going to court martial everybody.
Yes,
That's
we would be
yeah.
court martial.
Yeah.
And so I've been out of the service since 1980. So
Okay.
I,
Yeah.
I
So
don't
you're
care to talk
retired.
about it. I don't care to talk about it now. They can come and get me. I don't care.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. Now, you also mentioned your comments, which I found intriguing. Everyone who's coming in here, this is Encounters. This is a nightly Spiritual UFO Talk Show. We've been on here for 3 years. I'm a professional talk show host on NPR radio in the United States, and I'm also a contactee since I was a kid.
I just
And
found you.
see, everything happens for, it's amazing how many good people like yourself find me, and they find this place is like being in a living room where they can talk about their stuff. And that's the kind of person I am. I want people to be able to come forward with things, and people have. In the last 3 years, I've had people that have had visitations in their house by space people. I've had people with top security clearance on here. And people that have it, and they don't care. They think the people need to know the truth, and I'm very honored when people who are former military have information. Like you mentioned, also Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
I sure
I had
did.
a few people on here who have people that are employed at Wright-Patterson with some sort of clearance, and they've all gotten information from these people and their families where they said, they didn't know they were going to come on my show and talk about it, but they found a place where they share what they know from their uncle or somebody. So I want you to feel safe here to know that I'm here about busting the matrix, and disclosure is not coming from the Pentagon. It's coming from people like yourself and others who have been in the military, who have known people, who have information. And those stories you're telling me are really, really important, because most people would not know those stories. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm never afraid to ask it. I'm going to go there, and you don't have to say a person's name or anything. Tell us what you know about Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Well, I won't mention names.
No names. We don't need to know names.
I'm just going to say my ex-wife's uncle worked there. And this was probably back in, right before I went into the service, probably 74. That was right after I seen the UFO in 73. So I was intrigued. And I'd heard about Project Blue Book, Hangar 18, stuff like that. So we were at a picnic, and the family member picnic. And his name was Uncle Ted. I called him Uncle Ted. So we were standing out, and I just asked him, I said, hey, Uncle Ted, let me ask you, you work at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, right? He goes, yeah. And he was a very, very quiet guy, very smart. I said, well, what do you do up there? He goes, oh, really nothing. I said, oh, come on, Ted. Now, I've heard about Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and Hangar 18 and stuff. I said, do they have any aliens up there? Says I can't talk about that. I said, well, just tell me. Just tell me. He goes, well, they have something. And I said, well, what do they have? He goes, I can't talk about that. And the way he said it was really like a, very calm, quiet voice.
Mm-hmm.
Very mysterious like.
Mm.
So I said, is there an underground up there? He says, oh, yeah. I said, well, how far does it go? He goes, very deep, very deep. I said, so what do you work on? He goes, well, right now listen to this. This is back in 74.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, we're working on a laser for the Air Force to when they put a visor down over one of their eyes and they shoot a missile, it guides it. He goes, that's what he goes, I'm being shipped over to White Sands Missile Base next week. We're working on this new technology. He goes, but we have a laser that'll read an encyclopedia in 3 seconds. Or not a laser, but forget what he said it was. And that was in 74. So I asked him again. I said, do they have a UFO up there? This is what he says. It's not there anymore. I go, and then he goes, it's not there. No, wait a minute. You didn't hear that from me. I go, what do you mean it's not there? Well, come to find out later, it was shipped down to Florida to NASA.
Wait a minute. So the UFO that was at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base,
from 1974 Roswell, and they had other wrecks there. Yeah, they've had other wrecks there, yes.
They're at NASA has them?
NASA has some of them, yes.
Some of them. And this is definitely a revelation, everybody. So now what we're hearing is your uncle told you, who was at Wright Patterson, employed at Wright Patterson, who had high security clearance to know that information,
Oh,
that
yeah.
some of the UFOs that we have in our possession that were at Wright Patterson are now in headquarters somewhere in NASA headquarters in Florida.
Well, that was in 1974.
74.
That's been a long time.
So that leads to the question, do you think that NASA has a facility where they have some of these objects since then, or more of them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you follow George Knapp, Channel 8 News here in Las
Yeah.
Vegas,
Okay.
you know, he broke it all open. Area
Yeah.
51,
Yeah.
you know, everything. And I've met George Knapp, shook his hand, but never really got to ask him anything.
Okay.
But I've been intrigued about how his investigation. I follow Skinwalker Ranch, you know, the things that are going out there. You know, I mean, if anybody is watching that's going out there, you got to understand. Bigelow was out there in the government for 20 years trying to do something. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, what were they looking for? And then Bigelow is housed here in North Las Vegas, an aerospace company,
Mhm.
which now you cannot get any information under the Freedom of Information Act because he's a government contractor.
Ah, yes, he is. Yep, I know about him.
So now what's going on with the Trump administration with Elon Musk, with all of his, he'll be getting a lot of these government of billions of dollars in contracts that we will not know what's going on. None of it. And I believe, just my opinion,
Mhm.
that there is something up there.
Yeah. No, I'm with you
Because
there. Definitely.
why does he want to start a space force?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now the Space Force thing, which does exist,
Oh yeah.
I believe, and this is again my theory and opinion on encounters for everybody around the world.
There's also a Stargate.
Oh yeah, there's actually more than one Stargate too.
Yes, there is.
You know, and the fact is, when these ships are coming at these spaceships, these orbs that were documented over New Jersey, not the inland, these actual orbs coming out of the depths of the oceans off the coast of New Jersey and other parts of the world, they're coming from bases that are in the earth. These are
Yes.
advanced civilizations that lived among us for
Millions
living
of
here
years.
for billions of years. You know,
Yes.
they have been here. So I know a lot about that. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So what you're saying is very true.
Yes. What's going on in Antarctica, I did post it, where 6,500 scientists are there. What for?
Mhm.
Every government meets in Switzerland once a year, and it's a highly secret place in Switzerland. It's not secret because people are outside protesting. You know, tell us about the UFOs, let us know.
Right. Yeah. Outside the base. Yeah.
But it's all government agencies that meet there.
Mhm.
And why are they meeting there? And why is it so important that they're talking about space? I mean, do people really think the moon is a planet?
Oh, I've told, hey, you should. I've told people since I got on TikTok that the moon is an intergalactic station that was
Yes.
put here by space people. That the moon
Yes.
is not really a solid rock; it's an artificial structure, camouflaged to look like a moon, but it's not a moon at all. It's an actual base.
Right. When we crashed, I don't know, 2 times, we even put a nuclear bomb that exploded on there. If you
Yeah,
remember, I believe it was.
I do. I remember that.
And what did the moon do? It rang for 3 hours like a bell.
Yeah, and
Planets
if you
don't do
if
that.
oh no,
Planet,
yeah, if that
planets
was
don't
an
do that.
actual, if the moon was actually everybody a rock, that would have destroyed a lot of things. The moon is a very advanced space station that was put there and it was also no nuclear bomb could destroy anything there because it's an advanced. It has probably a shield of some sort protecting it.
Well, if you notice on the moon, and you can look it up, most craters are only 2 to 4 feet deep.
Right.
I mean, if you've got meteors coming in and crashing, I mean, they're going to put a great, big, deep dent in the moon, and it doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
Nope.
It doesn't happen.
You know.
And like we've had Neil Armstrong and all of them say when they were up there that they had things following them. They went around on the dark side and seen lights. I mean, if anybody thinks that we're alone out here, go crawl in that hole because,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not alone here.
Yeah.
I can give you an example of what happened to me in 93.
93. Okay.
I was living in Long Beach,
Mhm.
California, and my wife's mother was living here in Vegas. So we would go back and forth sometimes. She was, getting up in her age. We stopped in Victorville, and there's a big truck stop there. I don't know if anybody's probably, maybe some listeners have been there or so. As you go through
Excuse me.
Barstow and you
Mhm.
come out, you go through Victorville,
Mhm.
and there's a great big truck stop on the right hand side. We used to stop there, get gas, and get some snacks to head on into California or into Long Beach.
Yeah.
Well, me and my wife and son was in there getting some stuff, and also my wife goes, God, that the cashier, she goes, look at that cashier's eyes. And I turned around and I looked up, and her eyes were black.
Are you
And
serious?
I'm dead serious.
Mm-hmm.
Her head was oblonged a little bit, but you could tell she had her hair propped up, but her skull was a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
We're standing there, and there was like two people in front of us, and all of a sudden her eyes blinked and they went to regular eyes. And my wife,
Really?
yes, my wife goes, "Did you see that?" And I go, "Oh my God." I
Mhm.
just went, I said, "You're shitting me." So we kept staring at her. And she was taking care of the customer in front of her. And all of a sudden, she looked up again and looked right at us, and her eyes went black. Her whole eyes went black. And I
Oh my
just said,
God.
I said, "Fuck this." We dropped everything, went out. We never
Oh,
stopped.
we just have to watch the language. That's the only thing on the show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. You didn't know. But this woman's eyes, folks, her eyes turned black. She
Black.
looks right at you.
Yes.
So did she look, do you think she was camouflaged to look human and she wasn't human?
Right.
Interesting.
Yep. I mean, I don't know if the customers in front of us noticed it. I mean, a lot of people, when you go up to the counter, you're looking at your stuff. You're not really looking at the cashier.
Yeah.
You're putting your card in, you're giving money. But my wife was the one that noticed it. When I looked at her, she
Mhm.
looked at us, and all of a sudden her eyes went black. And it was just like a split second. All of a sudden maybe not a split second, maybe like 2 seconds. And then they went normal.
Did your wife freak out over this?
Oh, yeah. She was like,
Yeah.
look. She was like grabbing my arm going, look.
Yeah.
Look, keep looking.
You know, if there was nobody there, this is hypothetical, and you saw this woman, the cashier, her eyes turned black. There's two things. I mean, I'm thinking if I was there, what would I do? But I'm not in that situation, so I'm saying it because I'm not there. Would you have gone up to her if there's nobody around, and would you have asked her, "Who are you?"
I kind of, after I left and got on the road, we talked about it, and we was kind of shook up about it
Yeah.
because we just put our stuff to the side and walked out
Yeah.
because it was freaky, really freaky. And then I
Yeah.
thought, and then, my wife was saying, well, maybe it was contact lenses or something she had on, or
Yeah.
I go,
Contact
no.
lenses.
I said, contact lenses don't change shape
Yeah.
that I know of.
There's no way.
That's what I was thinking. I
Yeah.
kept saying, did you see her head? It was kind of big at the top. And she was like,
Yeah.
her hair
that's
was
the
put
thing.
up. And I said, No, but her head was big. And we
So
talked
she,
about it all the way to Long Beach, another hour and a
her,
half, 2 hour drive.
and her
And
head, everybody, her head was big, as she's saying. So her head wasn't like a normal,
uh-uh.
regular human head. Her head, when you looked at her head, did it look like, I'll go there. Did it look, I mean, whatever you want to call an extraterrestrial's head, and there's all kinds of ETs. Did it look like more of an extraterrestrial head versus a human head? Elongated.
It was elongated. Yes. You
Yeah,
could tell by her head. And even though she had her hair like up in a bun,
yeah,
you could tell the way that she pulled her hair. I think she was trying to disguise it,
yeah.
but the back of her
Hmm.
head was like stretched up.
Oh my God. Do you
And
think her?
we never stopped there ever again. As many trips we
Yeah,
went
yeah,
back
yeah.
for, we didn't stop there anymore.
Did you speaking of her hair, do you think that she was wearing, I'm going to say wig. You think she was wearing a wig?
No, 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 no.
It was
I
her
think she
real
was
hair.
I think she was trying to infiltrate our society. And I think that's happening around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, if you look at our DNA, they just found, I just seen on the news or I was
Mm-hmm.
read it to where they found something, some meteor or something that came in
Mm-hmm.
that came from another planet, but
Hmm.
it resembles our DNA.
Really
Yes,
interesting.
look it up. If you look it up, I was flicking the TV around and
Mm.
it was on the news and I seen it
Mm.
on the bottom of the screen and it had to do with our DNA, something to do with our DNA.
Wow, that's amazing.
So,
I'm still thinking about the woman with the black eyes putting her hair up. So,
oh, I've never forgot about that. That's implanted in my mind. It'll never go away. Um, and she didn't have regular eyes. They were like,
mhm.
um, no, no, nothing against any,
Right.
thing, but it was almost like, big Asian eyes.
Okay. That
If
yeah, that's yeah. Did
if
she,
that's kind of like they and her face was like long.
her
I
face
mean,
was describe her face. Yeah, what about the face?
well, she had a small mouth.
Mhm.
Um, she had lipstick on. It was like
Mhm.
a pinkish lipstick. Um, her nose was kind of pointy a little bit,
Hmm.
but the eyes is what got me.
The
The
eyes,
eyes
yeah.
is what got me.
Did
When
she
she
say
blinked, oh man,
did she speak at all to anybody when she was behind the counter, or she was silent?
yes, she was speaking like regular, like me and you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But
Interesting.
like I said, we put our stuff down and left, and
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wasn't in your shoes to do that. I don't know what I would have done, to be honest with you.
I that was probably the last encounter. I have seen some stuff. Living in Long Beach, I was only 10 blocks from the ocean, and you just go to the beach a lot at night and stuff. And a lot of people in Long Beach have seen stuff out
Yeah,
Santa Barbara area,
yeah,
and you see things out in the ocean. You really don't know what it is. You don't know if it's an aircraft or
yeah.
a helicopter flying by. But we have seen some things stop. One night me and a girlfriend of mine was out on the beach and she looked up and she says, what's that up there? I looked up and I said, oh, it looks like a satellite.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden it went the other way, like a 90
Just
degree turn.
just did something that physically a regular conventional craft would not be able to do.
Not be able to do, no.
Right.
And
Absolutely correct. Yeah.
all of a sudden there was two other objects that were off to the left that were going, and they look like stars is what they look like. But all of a sudden they started acting radical.
Mhm.
One went another direction, and it started like spinning around. I'm thinking, is that an aircraft crashing? I don't know if it's an aircraft with its lights on, but then it stopped and went another direction. And we both sat there and go, wow, those are UFOs up there.
Yeah.
She's like, no, because she didn't believe in them. She goes,
She
no,
didn't
they're
believe
not.
him. No, they're not
No,
UFOs. Yeah.
no, she didn't. She thinks we're the only ones in the universe. So I
Oh
said,
well.
no, those are UFOs.
Right. I got news for her. She's going to be seeing a lot of stuff happening this year.
Well, I've been to Area 51.
Okay, let me stop you there. You've been to Area 51. Now, okay, you did not. This is good. You've been to Area 51?
Yes,
Tell
not
us
inside the
about,
gates, not inside the
not,
gates,
not
but I've
inside the
been
gate. Okay.
right up to the gate and up to a hill that we were told not to go to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty steep hill, and we walked up to it, and then I'd say about 100 yards away from us was a white Jeep, or no, it was a pickup truck, and it was sitting up there, and I had binoculars, and I could see two individuals inside the truck, and
Mm-hmm.
they had the windows blacked. All the windows were almost blacked out.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they started flashing their lights, and um, my girlfriend, and this is another girlfriend I had, and my
Mm-hmm.
and my daughter was with me,
Mm-hmm.
and her kids were all, and they were going, "Come on, Grandpa, we're not supposed to be up here. They're flashing their lights." I said, "I don't care." I said,
I
"I,
don't
I,
care.
I'm not across that line, imaginary
Right.
line down there on the ground."
No, you're on the other side.
That's right. And so then I brought out my cell phone and held it up. And next thing I know, they were flashing red and blue lights and flashing their headlights.
Oh, wow.
And I got video of it and everything.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
care. I mean, as long as I didn't cross that imaginary line wherever it was
You're
at,
good. They can't touch you.
they can't touch me. And so, I mean, there's been so many sightings here in Vegas. I've seen a couple of them. One night I walked out to get my car and I seen something fly by real quick. I don't know what it
Mm-hmm.
was, but it was fast, bright, and gone.
Yeah.
I
And,
only caught it for a split second and went, and that was it.
and you know what,
Whatever.
Douglas? On the outskirts, I went on a red eye flight many years ago when I worked for a company. We did trade shows. We're coming back from Los Angeles from a gift show, and I was on a red eye flight back to Connecticut. When I was on that flight, as we were coming towards Las Vegas, I was looking out the window. I saw two or three objects that were not conventional craft coming from the mountains. And I asked the stewardess, "Did you see these objects? I'm looking at these objects. They're just crazy." And she didn't say a word. I got off the red eye flight. I'm in the airport in Las Vegas, and this is like late at night. This is,
Yep.
this is like a sci-fi movie, everybody. I'm in this airport, all right? And when I get off the flight, I'm in this area. They have like slot machines and whatever,
Yep.
and people sitting there like they've been there for 1,000 years. And then they have a gift shop that has all kinds of alien and Area 51 paraphernalia because of Las Vegas. And I'm looking. I said, this is just too surreal. And then you have these people smoking cigarettes in this little area, it's like an opening with windows, and I see like they look like they're not supposed to be there, and I'm like, man, I want to get out of here, and I'm like, and we're just in a transfer flight to go to the East Coast, but I'll tell you, but before I got off the flight, excuse me for the coughing,
You're okay.
I saw these objects that came out of the mountains in Las Vegas. If people know Las Vegas, their surroundings, it's desert and mountains.
Yep.
And these things were coming as we were on the outskirts of the city. These objects were going, the two or three of them were going out of the mountains, and they were going really fast, and it was amazing.
Well,
I
I
have
mean,
seen things.
everybody remembers the 1997 UFO that over Phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay, they came from Vegas. they were seeing it. Black Mountain over here. I didn't get to.
Yeah.
I didn't see him. You know, but thousands of people seen it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
they tried to say it was military flares and all this kind of
Oh yeah.
stuff.
Anything but.
Yeah, anything but. But
Anything but what it is.
if anybody knows anything about Vegas, we have planes fly out here that's got a big red stripe down the side of them with no numbers on them. The windows are blacked out. They fly in and out every day. They're flying to Area 51.
Yeah.
So this is kind
They call it the Jane flight, right? That Jane
yeah.
something. Yeah.
So, and I don't know if this has got anything to do with it or not, but I found out later it does. I
Janet,
was
that's right. Go
I
ahead.
was right down here off of Flamingo and Jones. If anybody knows Vegas, I was getting a haircut and I came out. It was evening, dark. This old Greyhound bus pulled up. All the windows were blacked out. These old men were getting off this bus. Some of them wore coveralls, jackets. Some of them were carrying briefcases, and it just didn't look right.
Right.
Well, what's this bus doing blacked out? It was an old, not an old, but it was not a
Right.
new one.
But blacked out.
Yeah, the windows were blacked out.
Yeah.
So me, I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. I could walk up to anybody and talk to them.
Yeah.
So I walked up and about 6 people got off this bus and they were older men. So I walked up and I said, "Hey, what kind of bus is that with blacked out windows?" 2 guys looked at me and said, "You don't want to know." And then
Don't want to know.
turned around and walked away from me.
I'll tell you, brother, I'm glad you went up to them. What about the guys with the suitcase? Did you go up to them?
Yeah, though that's the ones I went up to.
Oh, they're the ones that say you don't want to know?
Yeah, you don't want to know. And
Did,
turned away from me and walked away from me. Like they were kind
did,
of like they were
were they
mad that I was
yeah, were
well,
they shocked that you actually had the courage to go up to them?
right. And I'm talking these guys are 50, 40, 50, 60 years
Right,
old.
right. Yeah, yeah.
And
That's a great.
I just got done getting a haircut. My car was right there and the bus pulled up. I was getting ready to get in my car and I looked at the bus and I go, "Oh, blacked out windows. What kind of bus is that?"
What kind of bus is that?
Well, and they started getting off and they were right there on the corner. And a couple of them went into the parking lot, got in a car, and there was like 4 of them standing there, and a couple of them with suitcases. And I walked up, I said, "Hey, what kind of bus is that?" And he goes, "You don't want to know." Turned around and walked away from me.
Yeah, and when they turned around and walked away from you, now I'm the kind of person that might be crazy enough to say, wait a minute, I do want to know. I have the right to know. You were in a bus that's blacked out and you're telling me I don't want to know? I wouldn't be asking the question. I want see that's what I would have done, but I'm only me and I'm not there, so I don't maybe I wouldn't have done it. But
Well,
hearing your story, I might have done it. I don't know.
the way they looked at me, I didn't want to know.
You didn't want to know.
No,
So
the
listen,
way
if you
they
want
looked
if
at me was
if
like a mean look.
like if you don't want to be taking one of our unmarked vehicles, then you don't want
Right.
to know.
Yeah, if you don't want the black man showing up at your door, the men
Yeah,
in black, you
yeah,
better be
you don't
quiet.
want to know.
You don't want to know. But yeah, I've had encounters, and I've talked to people years ago and this is the whole
Mm,
stigma of UFOs
yeah,
is that when people talk about it, they think you're crazy. They think,
yeah,
"Oh, you're on drugs. You were high. You didn't see that."
yeah. Well,
And
yeah, yeah. I would,
I'm glad I found you. I just, was flipping through TikTok and I found you. And I've always been interested in people that want to put it out there and get other people involved because our government, and I'm hoping, and I put it out there on TikTok that I hope if you go on my TikTok at Raw Dogs Las Vegas, you'll see I put things out there. I
yeah,
mean, I hate Trump. I'm not a Trump supporter, so I'll let everybody know that right now. But I love everybody's opinion. I
mm,
don't I don't hate anybody that voted for him or anything. I just hope
yeah,
our government does good. But I hope Trump lets us know about aliens or UFOs. I hope he divulges it to the American people because it's time. There's 67% of Americans that want to know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really true.
It's time.
And
It's time.
I'll tell you, Douglas, we're going to have you on again in the future. Whenever you come back and you have more information, if you dig in and have information that's top secret, you shared a lot of great information and stories, and everybody here appreciates you. Me too. And I want to thank you, man, for finding us. You'll be addicted to the show because we do things differently. I've been in the professional media for years, and I've had direct contact visually with space people. And when I was a kid in Long Island, I live in New England, but I had
I just saw somebody put Galactic Federation. That's happening. It is.
Yeah.
If you look at Paul Haley from, he was the Canadian defense minister.
Yeah, he spoke, and there's a video of him talking about the different civilizations.
And the defense minister of Israel said that we're not ready. They said, what he said was that the aliens, that we were not ready for them yet.
That was the Israeli guy. I remember that. But
Yes.
the thing is, and the problem with these people that are in power in governments, that doesn't matter where they are, we are ready for them. And 30 years ago, people might have thought people were, weird saying they saw something. But the thing is, the reason why I have a show here now, people, is because being in the media, people here are ready for contact. People are here to know the truth. People are tired of being told by different governments that you're not ready. Who gave the right to people in power and government to tell us if we're ready or not to see and have contact with people from other planets? They've always done that,
Well, you know what? I would love to send you a video. It's kind of long, but my brother Paul just passed away, 65 years old.
Sorry to hear that.
Okay. He passed away December 2nd. And he was 65 years old. And just this last November, I was back there. And I did some recordings. But I said, it was really only 2 recordings I had of him. But one of them, I said, Paul, tell me something you've never told me before. Tell me something you never told anybody. And he had a story. Him and his wife lived out on a farm in Indiana. And they were pretty far away from another farmer and stuff. And he said one night they were laying there, and he heard, his wife woke up and heard some scuffling noise going on outside. Mm-hmm. And at first she didn't think nothing of it. She thought maybe it was some cats or dogs or something, But then she seen like a glowing light. It's like I think he said it was like a purple. Well, I've got the video. I'd have to watch it again, but
yeah,
he said she woke him up, and he was like, they heard this scuffling noise outside the house, and it wasn't a dog or a cat, and there was like a glow light, like a purplish yellow light. Mm-hmm. He said, and he said all of a sudden he seen shadows, and my brother, he said he never told anybody about it, because he didn't want people to think he was crazy.
Yeah.
And he thinks it was aliens coming into his house.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, and I got video before he passed away. He told me about this. Well,
I think
I would love to send a video to you because he can really tell you. I mean, I'd have to watch it again, but I'm just trying to remember what he said. Mm-hmm. He had stage 4 cancer, and my brother would never lie about anything like this. He would never make anything up like this.
Yeah.
My brother was well-loved, well-liked, very honest person. Mm. And I would like to send that video to you. And
yeah. Matter of fact, if you send it to me, you can send it to, you might want to write this down, and then we'll have our next guest come on in a moment.
Yeah, let
We're
me
going
get
to be
out.
on. We'll be on here till like 1:30. We're going to be on here till 1:30 this morning. So we'll be doing some more interviews too. When you get so you're watching Encounters. If you're new to this show, please follow us. Everybody, go to my bio and press the follow button. I need everybody to do that.
What is it
And
now?
also, okay, so it's going to be CM, like you see on the screen,
Yep.
CMDR
DR
AL. Yep, AR. I'm sorry, CMDR AL. I'm sorry,
A.
AL.
Wait a minute. CMDR
AL
AL
EO
EO.
N.
N is in Nancy.
Yeah, at
Okay.
AOL.com. And if you send me that video, I'll definitely download it and look at it.
Oh yeah. So it's CMDRALEON at AOL.com.
Absolutely correct, Douglas.
Okay.
Okay, brother.
I
I want
want
to
to
thank you
thank
for.
all the listeners out there. I mean, I hope you don't think I'm crazy,
You're not
but
crazy. And everybody says they're crazy when they come on here. Please
yeah.
throw that word out the window. You're not crazy at all.
Well,
Abs-
you know, like I said, I'll send a video if you want to post it. That's fine. I don't care.
Oh,
He's
good. Okay,
passed
I was going to ask
away.
you that if I could.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I give you permission to post it. He's
I
passed
appreciate
away,
that.
so I'm
Okay.
his brother, and I have every right to put it out there.
Okay. I will look at it and I will post it.
I'm going to be sending it to you real soon,
Okay. Sounds good,
like
brother.
within minutes.
Okay. When I'm not on here, I look at my emails and messages, so I'll take a look.
All right. I thank you very much, and thank for everybody listening. And please speak up. You see something, say something. I mean, we can't let our
Yeah.
government just trick us on. There's nothing out there. There
Yeah.
is.
And believe me, if they could get away with it now in 2025, they would. But people are too conscious. Too many things are appearing in the sky now. There's no way they can cover it up. Douglas, thank you again for coming on here.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you, man. All right.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
All right. Bye.
Everybody, give a round of applause for Douglas out in Las Vegas. We're going to bring you down.
No, not Douglas.
Uh, Not Douglas. Tell me your actual name. I saw the Douglas in there. You want to make a comment of what the name is, the actual first name? That'd be great. I was just using that because that's what I saw in your thing on your ID there. And we're going to, or message me or tell me in comments what your actual first name is. Oh, Raw Dog Las Vegas, not Douglas. You're right. Raw Dog Las Vegas. I don't know where I got the Douglas from. I'm changing your name. Forgive me. Let's see here. It sounded very urgent, Maurice. Now, this other person, I think it's something Aqua Star Girl. Let me see, Aqua Star Girl. I hope you're with us.
Hello.
Let's see. Hey, Aqua Star Girl. Welcome to Encounters.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, glad to have us. Where are you located? And tell us what you want to share on the number one UFO spiritual talk show tonight.
Oh, spiritual. Well, well, I'm from Australia.
Oh, welcome to Australia. Good to have you with us.
Oh, yes, I'm from Australia. Um, yeah, I think I was on your other show before, and you was talking about they're here to help us and stuff like that.
Yes.
So, I sort of felt that it kind of really works both ways. We have to put in the effort and elect better leaders. They're not going to take our rights away from us. Elect better leaders that actually care for the environment and work in tandem, like with the public. I mean, we've always got to put our little bit in, like recycling, planting trees, all the rest of that. But they've got to, develop technology to, help clean up the environment too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had an experience I'm just trying to think. I was in high school and I was doing journalism for one of my subjects at school. And there was one night I had an experience with the Greys, which I've had since I was 11 years old.
Hmm.
And they showed me a picture of Earth in about 2050. And they said the way you're going, like as in the whole planet, like not just me, but humanity, if we keep on polluting and messing up our environment, we are basically going to be rendering all life extinct. And they showed me the Earth. It was something a cross between Dune and hell, basically. It was terrible, and there's only a few of us left, and collecting everything and us. And I said I didn't want to go, and they said you have to go because there's nothing here for you.
Now, let me slow you down. Who said that?
Crying,
Who said that?
crying. The Greys
Who
themselves.
said that to you?
The Greys told me this.
The Zeta told you this and how old were you when the Zeta did this to you or said this to you?
1990, so I was 15.
Mm-hmm. And did the Zeta? You've had contact with Zetas for a long time. Did the Zetas forcefully take you or abduct you, or what happened?
Initially, they did, but I decided that I wasn't going to be a victim, and that there had to be a reason why they were actually doing this. And it turned out that they were in trouble, and they needed our DNA to help save their species. And they made some mistakes, like with their planet, overusing technology, abusing technology in some regards.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want to see us go down the same path because they tend to be a bit more analytical and less emotionally inclined to jump to conclusions and have a tendency towards violence than what we do. We tend to say put up hands and throw hands, basically, whereas they will take a lot of crap until they don't. But they try not to escalate situations so it gets really bad. Whereas we tend to throw hands, we'll get into a fight, we'll basically unalive each other if we get the chance. So they sort of don't see us the way that we are with our violent tendencies. We won't survive if we don't start calming down, taking a breath, and working towards peace, getting rid of toxic old dogmas that no longer serve us. And that includes politics and religion. They both have some toxic elements that we need to really be honest to ourselves about, with ourselves, I should say, sorry. And we should not be, getting angry at each other because we believe differently. I put it in a way that if you're taught something and you're taught that is right, you're doing your best with the knowledge you have at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make, just because you got something wrong, it doesn't make you a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
But you must be willing to say, could I be wrong? And if I am wrong, then what do I do to fix it? What can I do to fix it? And
So
I think
did the Zeta? Did the Zeta have? So there are Zeta that have been involved with our government in the United States that were given the ability to abduct people, which is against universal law. So these particular
that's
Zeta.
not entirely true. That's not entirely true. I had a visit not so long ago, and we were talking about this very issue. And they said, but they think in a group mentality. Like if one says something, They essentially think that everybody agrees with it because their system is a lot different to ours. So they think that because somebody said, "Oh yeah, it's fine, go ahead and do it," they didn't know that people have different opinions, and they weren't taught properly on how to approach us and to ask for consent. And it was a very thing back in 2005 where we had a discussion, and I said, "How about we wind down this program and try a different tack?" Because obviously, if you want to have open contact and a relationship with us as equals or anything like that, then your whole approach is going to have to change.
But what about the people that, and you have to be, this is, we've had people in 3 years on my show that were having negative experiences from the Zeta Reticuli system, from Zetas that physically took them against their will. And regardless of that, you can't ignore that. It's like,
I'm not going to ignore that because it is an issue, but I don't think that they recognised, how would I say, that their approach and their customs. See, in Zeta culture, it's very rude to knock on the door, right? These little cultural differences, cultural misunderstandings has contributed a lot to it. If they think that, say, the government says okay, then it must be okay with everybody, because in their system, they explained to me, with their system and their leadership thing, there's a bit of a mix between democracy and a monarchy, which means the people that lead, they basically are chosen because if they've done a good deed, say they've saved lives, they've found a cure for something, they've advanced technology to help society, right? They conduct, obviously, their things like we do, like births, deaths, marriages, all that, and graduations, all that sort of stuff.
So what about the fact that the Zeta Reticuli system, and one cannot ignore this, and maybe there are a few good ones out there, but what about the fact that they basically destroyed their humanity and they redid themselves in transformation of their bodies to the point where there was no emotion, no understanding, and they actually have. I've had people on here. I actually remove implants. I've removed implants remotely on my show here from where I am, from people all over the world that I've documented. And these people will tell me they had very negative experiences. It wasn't something they created. It's something they experienced.
Yes, I know. I know what they're going through because I went through the same thing. How would I say? I think there's been a lot of misunderstandings on both sides on how to approach each other. Cultural difference has definitely played a part. I do know that for a fact. I think that if it had been done properly from the outset, all this crap would not have happened. I think the government should have said, listen, we have contact with a species, they're in trouble, who would like to help them? They're going to medically examine you, they're going to do this, they're going to extract the genetic material from males and females. Who would like to volunteer? That would have been a completely different kettle of fish, but they chose, for some reason, not to. Because
but understand,
tell me that with the Barney and Betty Hill, the procedure in which they took her eggs, that technology was actually stolen off them. Basically, back engineering is basically a cute way of saying stealing their technology and not acknowledging them that they actually have the idea.
But also understand in our society here, I grew up in the 60s, when General Eisenhower was alive, he met with the Ashtar Command, which are the positive spiritual beings from other planetary worlds.
That's what they tell you.
No. I actually work with the Ashtar Command. I
No,
am
they say
actually.
they're from Venus, and there's no evidence that the Ashtar Command was.
I disagree. I disagree with you, respectfully
Well, I
speaking.
understand.
Let
I
me
respect.
just say this. I respectfully disagree with you that I work with the Ashtar Command. I work with them, and they do exist, and they are real. And then they are the Zeta. And what I was going to say is General Eisenhower. This is pure fact, and I know people that know this on the inside part of it. That Eisenhower had a meeting in the desert with the Ashtar Command, which are the positive space people, and with the Zeta Reticuli, which people call the Greys. The government gave, in a secret agreement for over 70 years, gave the Zeta the ability to take people and abduct them and implant them in return for that agreement. And this is true. That's why we have reversed engineered technology.
They did acknowledge me. They spoke to the Russians, so I believe that the film that guy that was it Skinny Bob and all the rest of that. I think that is real.
The Zeta, and again, I respectfully disagree with you. I understand that you've been taken by them. I've also understand that the Zeta can program the human mind to believe whatever they want them to believe, and they'll make you think ice cream is good, and it's not ice cream at all. So I've interviewed people, I've dealt with people that have been abducted, and I've removed over 50 to 100 implants on my show here with guests that have been on my show, and this is raw. This is absolute fact. Absolute fact.
I'll ask you, if these Ashtar Command is so positive, well, why didn't Eisenhower take up their offer?
Because he was more interested. Let me answer your question. He was more interested in having the technology from the Zeta, and in order to get it, they said, "We'll give you the technology, which has been reversed for years from Area 51 and Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and other locations. In order to get that technology, we'll give it to you, but you let us, abduct your human civilization and other things, and you can have it." And that is the pure truth. That's exactly what happened.
I've heard of this. I don't know whether I believe it 100% or not.
Oh, it's absolutely true. I know it to be true.
I mean, I think the trouble is everybody's getting told different stories and different perspectives.
There's no different stories here. On this show, there's only one story. That's the truth. I don't go on websites looking for information. I have the information. I don't need to do that.
But that's the thing. Everybody thinks I have the truth. I mean, I've experienced this
but I'm not saying everybody. There might be a lot of everybody's out there that think they have the truth, but I know what I'm talking about. I get my information direct. I don't go to 10,000 websites for other people's opinions. I've been involved in this stuff for a lot of years.
I've been about 40 years, so.
And I have contact with space people when I was a kid outside the window in a spaceship that were wearing light blue outfits that were human. So I'm a contactee. I've got experiences.
So have I.
Well, I appreciate you coming up here. I want you to know.
That's all I wanted to say, but anyway, yeah, go ahead.
No, I appreciate you coming up here. It's a different perspective. And I appreciate that. That's why I'm having you, be able to say what you say. That gives me the ability to counter what you're saying. And again, I do respect and honor your thing, but absolutely the Zeta do have a way of getting people that are human to believe what they're saying to be true, when in fact what they're doing is absolutely not true. But I want to thank you for being up here.
I'll tell you something. They told me a lot of things that turned out to be true that I could check out and scientifically prove.
You might be able to scientifically prove them, but the fact of the matter is what they've been doing to humans was absolutely against universal law. The abductions of human beings, of women that were abducted, and to be having children that are hybrid children for the Zeta so they can recreate their human part of themselves is against universal law. And that is absolutely a truth.
Well, we can't talk because as humans, we experiment on animals and do things to them all the time. That's,
there are humans that do that. You're right. But not all humans do that. Yeah, the ones that don't do it are the ones that are in my room here, the ones that are watching this show that are spiritual people of light. They don't do that. It's not a blanket thing. The Zeta Society messed their whole planetary system up by coming here because
Well,
they lack the humanity.
Well, some leaders lack humanity too. I won't name
Yeah,
names.
I'm not
What are you
here for the
talking
leaders
about?
of the world. I'm here to bust the matrix. I can care
I
less
think
about the leaders.
yeah. Well, all
All
right.
right.
Well, that's all I'm going to say. So,
I appreciate you. Thank you for your perspective, though. I appreciate it. All right. In Australia, in the house, we're going to bring it down. I got another guest coming here. Let me see who's coming up next. I think Dion. Is it Dion? Let's see. Where's Dion? You know, the commander does have emotional feelings about this whole thing with the Zeta because I've had too many people on here that have been abducted, implanted, and the Zeta didn't care about the human person, the man or woman. They did what they did, and it's wrong. There's no excuse for the Zeta doing what they have done for the last 70 years in current human history. It's just wrong, you know. And again, from my perspective, I think if you are a person like that, and again, I respect your viewpoint, but I think the Zeta did a little bit of mind programming on that person to make them believe, oh, this is the way we operate. We're good people. We have families. We get married. La di da di da. Yeah, we do things on this planet that are wrong. We've created nuclear bombs. We've done experimentation on animals. True. But there's no comparison, and that shouldn't be done either. But there's no comparison to taking a human being on a spaceship, abducting them with the consent of our government, and implanting them with implants. That's against universal law. That's wrong. Absolutely wrong. You know? Okay, Dion, I'm going to bring you up now. We're going to bring Dion up, who's been waiting. And you got to be over 18. No foul language or cursing on the show. No smoking, no vaping, no drugs, no paranormal discussion, no politics, no religion. And Dion is our next guest on Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show. I'm your host, Commander Elian. Hey, Dion, welcome to the
I
show.
feel a little guilty. I'm over 18. I'm 38.
You don't feel too
I
guilty.
feel like
Welcome.
you made me feel like a geezer immediately.
No, you're young. You're young, man. You're probably looking like 20. So there you go.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking.
I
But
know you
hey,
are.
how you doing tonight, man? I've been
Good.
tuning in. I haven't been a member on TikTok long, but I ran across you in my early stages, which is still young, but
Yeah.
I've been tuning in and listening, and like the only reason I was responding with such urgency to her, as far as witnessing what she did, because like I said, I'm 38, and I had an experience when I was a adolescent or
Mm-hmm.
on the level of preteen,
Yeah.
something of that nature. I seen one of these entities, and the thing was, like, I was in my room going to sleep as usual. I believe 13. I was 13 years old, but it was my birthday the following day, so I would
Mm.
have been going on 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And my bed started shaking real violently.
Oh my God.
And as a child, I'm like, okay, or a teen, preteen, whatever, adolescent, whatever you want to title it or call it.
Yeah.
Like I threw the cover over my head. I wasn't always as tough as I am now, but I threw the cover
Yeah.
over my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is going on right now? I shot my little prayer out there, and this was blindly because I was at a point where I wasn't fully going to church. I wasn't baptized yet. I was not walking in the faith, you know? Like, it'd be a lie to sit here and say, hey, yeah, I was all the way. No, I wasn't. I was far from it at that moment
Yeah.
really. So, I put the cover over my head. I ran downstairs. Once I built up the courage to do so, it wasn't in one motion. I'm talking about. I'm like, I don't even know the word for fear. Like right now that I felt at
Yeah,
that moment when
yeah.
my bed started shaking when I
Oh my
couldn't
God.
visibly or physically see anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I built that courage with prayer, and I ran down the stairs, but I had to gather my pillow along with my comforter or blanket or whatever, and I jet down those stairs, and my mother's room was down there. That's where I was headed to. And you know, I'm I'm a black dude, and I don't know if other people know mama ain't playing that coming in and sleeping in her room. So,
Yeah, yeah.
I had to get on a stealth mission. It was a stealth mission. I had to creak the door open. I had to learn the door. It took about 30 minutes to get in that door upon the floor. And when I got in there, I looked out. And this is back when I don't know, well, you might remember when it was popular to have big, long furniture, right?
Yeah,
Like, I'm talking back in the 90s,
yeah, yeah.
like, like it used to be sectionals, but these pieces of furniture, if it wasn't sectional, it was like one big, enormous piece,
Hmm.
of furniture.
Yeah,
And the entity that I seen with my eyes laying
yeah,
upon this furniture
yeah.
was 10 feet tall at the least.
Really? And what did they
But
look like?
man, look, oh man, okay. Now this is prior to me ever seeing ET
Mm-hmm.
or any being introduced to anything on the alien side, right?
Yeah,
And this is why I wanted to come in here with such urgency to her because she said she seen something. Now what I seen was the complexion of a Negro. What I seen was brown like me. Like, all right, do you remember the Ninja Turtles back in the 90s when they had the brown Ninja Turtles?
yeah.
Like when they made them look real, like people in costumes. That's exactly what their complexion looked like because
Right.
that's the only thing I was looking into at that time that could be in comparison what I bared witness to.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
later on, like from what I experienced with them, they are evil.
Yeah,
And what and I'm not just only saying that because they were brown or whatever, but all of those entities are evil. They're
yeah. It
of
doesn't
the
make
fallen.
it makes no difference. Negative ETs are what we call fallen. The other word would be lower vibrational beings, ETs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the the other ones, I don't know if you remember the Nevada incident. Matter of fact, that's when I was first coming in here on TikTok. I was in here that night when you were speaking on behalf of that. I remember making comments because with the Nevada incident, um, days after those people witnessed that, within their household, the crucifixes were being turned over and they were hearing demonic entities telling them things and doing certain things within their household.
Yeah, I try to stay away from
And
the paranormal, but go ahead.
yeah, but that's truly what they are. I experienced that at a young age, and that's not the only thing. Like, see, that was at my young age. I've been through so much more at the age I am now. I'm 38. Now, that was like the creator opening me up to certain things and showing me things on the other side. I've been through so much more that I don't even feel comfortable speaking on behalf of. But as I
Yeah,
sit back quiet and pay attention to everything that's going on, it falls into place and it makes sense.
yeah.
Um,
So, have you had Dion more? And again, I stay away from the paranormal for just
yeah, yeah.
my,
Oh yeah.
I just stay away from it. But on the
Oh, I
ET
try.
level, yeah, on the ET level, you had experiences with lower vibrational ETs,
Right.
correct? And it's like, and I know you want this woman that was in Australia. And I believe me, I've remotely removed implants from a lot of people on here on my show. You probably have seen me do it. And the thing is, she starts talking, they can the Zeta have a way of what's the word for it? They'll manipulate your consciousness, manipulate
Yes, they
consciousness.
will.
That's exactly what they did to her. This woman in Australia, she's thinking, she's trying to defend them. But what they did is, when they abducted her, they manipulated her consciousness. So now no, there's some things that are correct. When she says we do experiments on animals, we should never be doing things to animals. We should leave the animals and all the
Exactly.
wild nature and all the beautiful
Exactly.
things God created, leave it alone.
Preach it.
So we
Yes.
do things like that, as not all human beings do that, but the ones that are, thinking they're doing something for humanity, they're not. But there's no
Exactly.
comparison to we do to a mouse versus Zeta, abducting a human being and implanting them in their body with implants to monitor them and do whatever they are, or forcing women that have been abducted. There have been many documentaries on UFO documentaries about abductions and taking the women to have hybrid
Oh,
children.
excuse me.
So if you had a planet that was a beautiful planet at one time in the Zeta Reticuli system, and then over time you messed up your planet, you became really advanced, you have advanced cities, you have all the technology, but then the one thing you start forgetting that you were human, and you start changing the makeup of your human fabric and go underground and become looking like an ant, so to speak. Nothing against ants, but
Right.
you start looking
Oh
like an ant,
no.
and then they
Oh,
go and they say, well, we messed it up. We have to come to Earth because Earth has human beings with emotions and feelings, and we need to get their DNA in order to reconstruct our DNA because we messed up our planet. So now they're coming to us and they're going to, they make an agreement with General Eisenhower, which is true, as I was trying to tell the women in Australia. And we gave them permission. We had the choice to work with the positive people that were from outer space. We chose to work with the Zeta because they had the spaceship, and their spaceship is limited to this universe. The Zeta spaceships cannot go into any other higher frequency. They are limited to this specific universe. You know what I
right.
mean? So they come
Right.
here and they've been doing what they do and experimenting on human beings, which is against universal law, you know? And that's what I was trying to tell the young lady in Australia, who I know for sure when I was listening to her story, she was programmed by them to believe that they were good and they're doing good things and just trying to get back to being human and it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's never okay to take people
Right.
or any life form and do anything to them.
Yeah. But what I want to go into is, as I got older and what
Yeah.
I experienced, what I experienced was like, okay, I used to be in a situation in my life where I didn't grow up around lawyers and doctors and things
Yeah.
of that nature, or
Yeah.
positive people.
Yeah.
I grew up on the other side where people were in the streets as pharmaceutical
Yeah.
pushers.
Yep. Yep. I
And,
understand.
that's all that I was involved in. My heart was
Mm-hmm.
solely set on that.
Yeah.
And I was in a high speed engagement at one point,
Mm-hmm.
and at 108 miles an hour, I went out the windshield of a vehicle,
Oh my God.
and I had, oh, look, what I went through is medically impossible to survive,
Yeah.
and I'm here, and I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm no longer paralyzed. I
Right.
was before.
Right.
And my brain should have came out of my skull when I went out the
Wow.
windshield.
Yeah. Wow.
But I got pictures of me in a halo and
Yeah.
paralyzed, and I got pictures of the
Yeah.
vehicle that is mangled beyond your belief
Yeah.
if you see it. you
You know,
know.
Dion,
But
it sounds like you are, you know, we have, you know, what I call divinely protected, and I read energy. You're divinely protected, brother.
yeah,
You know that,
I
right?
I I know that now.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's only the middle of how I know this.
yeah.
I've been shot at twice. Once towards the head,
Hmm.
standing 2 feet away,
Yeah.
and once at the lower waist towards arteries, and
Hmm.
not been touched. And that comes after the miraculous story of me going out a windshield at
Yeah,
100
that's
miles.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Um,
anybody would survive that. That's amazing.
No, it's medically impossible for real. Like
Yeah,
I have the
it is medically
documentation.
impossible. Yeah.
I can step foot in front of doctors and tell them this story and they'll laugh in my face until I pull out the medical records.
And then
And
they'll be like, they're like,
they're
what?
you'll hear silence on a
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
level.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah. Because what I'm gonna tell you what I broke. All right. I broke my neck, my back in 3 different places. My tailbone, 6 ribs, my tib fib, um, my 3 toes on my right foot, a concussion, lacerations on my spleen, and I had breakage in my collarbone.
Oh wow.
And, you know, that's beyond several traumatic fractures, and people die from one of those.
Hmm.
And, you know, I was in a halo. I still got the holes in my forehead. Like, even if I don't even speak about it, if you look at my forehead, if you know, you'll know what it is. I got scarration on my forehead and, you know, upon my throat, collarbone.
Hmm.
Even if I could post, like, this is my Disney picture up here, that's up here. Like, I
Yeah.
use that. That's really me, but it's from Disney.
Yeah.
But I could
Well,
put my
that looks
ankle.
like you, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's really me. You know, but you know, I just feel more comfortable with that because you know I
That's
got
fine.
some scarage on my head.
Yeah. No,
You
you'll be
know,
as comfortable as you can. Well, we're getting up to
yeah.
about 1:30 in the morning, which is you've
Oh
been
yeah,
a
yeah.
great.
You're exact.
And
Yeah.
we're on the I don't know what part of the coast you're in, but we're on the East Coast in New England here, man.
Yep.
But
I'm right with you.
you're right with me, okay, brother. But I want to tell you, as my last guest for the night, your story is amazing. As I said, I believe you're well protected. You know, I have heard of stories and documentaries on History
Mm-hmm.
Channel when they talk about these things.
Yeah.
That there are people that they say, how did they fly out of a
Yeah.
window and hardly have anything happen to them? Because there have been
Right.
stories about the angelic beings that are protecting you and they save you from, you know, basically not being here. So
Yeah.
I think you went
Right.
from having a hard life experience, which and then come on the other side of that, on the other side of the rainbow or whatever you want to call it, as now an adult in this time, you're now in a much
Yeah.
better place, I feel, and your consciousness is expanding higher and higher and higher frequencies. And when we have contact with the space people, it's going to be the most
Uh-huh.
beautiful experience that everybody of all different nationalities will experience, of all different parts of the world will experience. It won't matter of the color of anyone's skin. The space people are here to love all people. And I pray, you know, I appreciate you, brother, for coming up here, Dion.
Yeah. All right.
Really,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
And keep listening to the show. Your story is amazing. Thank you so much,
Oh
man.
yeah, I'll definitely be in. I can further, you know, elaborate on certain things that I experienced because, like I said, I don't even think we're towards the middle point of what I truly experienced.
No, we're
And
not.
some things correlate with scriptures,
Yeah.
and it's scary.
Well, you
Like,
know, you don't have to be
it
scary. If you look at things like Ezekiel and other, there's a lot of things, and I don't get into religion at all because this is not what the show's
yeah, I don't
about.
like to either
You know, I just
because
basically throw the Bibles, the Qurans, and all that out the window. I want people to go within and
yeah,
get into to touch You can get in touch with God
Yeah.
universally that created all the different planets
Right.
and solar systems just by focusing on meditation. And if people do that, that's why I
Right.
tell people to listen to
That's true.
higher
That's
dimensional
true.
music. I do that
Yes.
every morning. I spend at least 30 minutes listening to higher frequency music. That's meditation, and I just want to
Yeah.
have that peace of mind to be away from everything and just focus on the beauty of the universe. All right, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate being here, so I'm gonna let you go for
Yeah.
now.
I appreciate
And
it. All right.
yeah, definitely. All right. Hey,
All
brother.
right.
Take care. Thanks for sharing some stuff
You
with us.
too. All right.
All right.
Appreciate it. Likewise.
All right. We're going to bring Dion down. Thank you, Dion. I think that kind of does it for tonight. We've had a long show, 2 hours and 30 minutes. I want to thank everybody. Please follow me. If you're not following me, go to my bio. My link for my YouTube channel is on the bio too. Press the follow button. I want everyone to press the like button on my main page to like and follow. And also my YouTube channel is Ash Command Spaceship News. Thank you, Everell. It's good to have you here. And Everell, if you have a story, I get the feeling you might have a story, and hopefully one night you'll be able to share it with us. I don't know why I feel that, but I do. But please follow me on the main page. I want to thank all the people out there all over the world for watching the show, wherever you are. I love everybody. I always have to say this. If you're new to the show, I love all of you. Thank you, everybody, for being here, all the new people. You're welcome here. We're at 11 o'clock Eastern in the United States here in Connecticut. That's 11 Eastern, 3 o'clock in the Pacific Australia area, and 8 o'clock West Coast, 7 o'clock in the Mountain Time Zone. And what am I saying here? Anyway, 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock in the Central Time Zone, 9 o'clock in the Mountain Time Zone, 8 o'clock in Pacific, and 3 a.m. in the morning if you're out there in the Pacific Coast, out in places like Australia or New Zealand. Anyway, take care, everybody. We'll be on tomorrow night with a special edition of Ashtar Command Q&A. I know my friend April has been taken off planet. Some of the people that were on her live said she's been taken off planet. Lynn, thank you. For people that don't know what we're talking about, when I say April, that's a friend of mine and one person I interviewed actually when I first came on TikTok, and she has a connection with the fairies. We made connection with her, and she also is with the Ashtar Command. She was taken off planet from her home in Vermont, and she'll be back. I don't know whenever they take her off planet, there's a reason. So I'll find out what that is, and we'll try to have her on tomorrow night on the show. Tomorrow night is Encounters Ashtar Command Night. We do that every Saturday night. Please join us. Well, that's because she is involved, Maria. That's because they have a base up there, and where I am, it would be impossible to have a base. I live too much downtown in an area here. There could be other reasons. Whatever the reason is, it doesn't bother me at all. I just know that there'll be a time when they'll be taking me off planet. I'm not too concerned about that. I just focus on busting the matrix, doing the show, and I'm fine with it. I have no problems with it. So, yeah. I don't know if she will. I'm going to message her tomorrow and see if she'll be able to make it on the show after going off planet tonight. I'm just going to see what she's doing, and we'll try to get her on the show. We'll see what happens. All right, I think it's time for me to say good night, everybody. Definitely, everyone's been great. I appreciate all your questions. If you didn't get a chance to get on the show, like I said, Sunday night we do our regular encounters. Yeah, she had been live blue, yes, and then they took her off. So she's been off planet probably over 200 times already, which is amazing, And again, the way I look at it is I come from a place of no ego, all love. So whenever it happens to me, it'll happen. It's no big deal. Really. All right. No, not tonight. I will definitely do some videos Sunday night, but I think we had a lot of great conversations here. And I'll do videos on Sunday evening. I'll do some videos for everybody. I'll get some new video prepared for the show here. Some new spaceship videos or UFO videos that I think need to be seen. All right, everybody, take care. I appreciate you all. Again, go to my bio page, press the follow button, press the like button, and also the link for my YouTube channel. I'm going to have this show and the other, I think I'm backlogged by 1 or 2 shows. Those shows will be on my YouTube channel by tomorrow. Sonia, thank you for the gifts. Everybody, Keep your eyes to the skies, have your phones ready, and start taping. Take care.